Happy Sunday, everybody. Let's see, do I like this song? Yeah, I like this. All right, everybody. Welcome to GeekFlagFlyHigh. Thank you so much for joining me, whoever's here at the beginning. The rest of you, you're late. 10,000 lashes with a wet noodle. All right, let's do this. Looks like we have finally started to really get the technical difficulties behind the scenes figured out. We got the Twitch stream going, we got the YouTube stream going, we got it in the landscape and the portrait, and we got the recording, and we're working things out. We're digging. I'm loving this. All right. This is all going to be a very much a work in progress, y'all. So just, bear with me. Those who have been there from the beginning, you know that I appreciate you. Yes, indeed. Wagey, how we doing? everyone who's been there from the beginning, I appreciate you, and the support that I've been given on the back end, as well as just in terms of it's a journey, right? There's a lot of things that I want to go ahead and do with this, and being able to put the building blocks in place so that it happens is gonna take some time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and this isn't gonna make me a millionaire overnight, if at all, honestly, and that's totally fine. A couple $100,000, that would be nice every now and again. You know what I'm saying? For those who are just joining for the first time, I do want to kind of explain what the purpose of this is. Thank you for the feedback. Also, always good to know that the audio sounds good. This is very much the beginnings of a community I want to create that truly celebrates the diversity of what being a geek actually means. And there are so many different ways to be a geek in the world today, right? Whether it's history, math, shoes, games, anime, music, so many different things, sports, like across the board. And so everyone is a geek about something, even if they don't see themselves as a geek, right? There's someone who doesn't know anything about it. There's a fan. There is a fanatic. You can't be a fanatic without being a fan. If you're a nerd about something, and then the way that I see it at the highest level is someone being a geek. And so we're gonna go ahead and dive into a bunch of these different realms of geekdom, so on and so forth. Right now we're doing a lot with gaming and role playing. Last week it was role playing and wrestling. People that follow professional wrestling and play professional wrestling video games, that's a role playing game, right? You create your character, you're gaining levels, you're gaining skills, moves, whatever, going through the different quests in the game, right? That's role playing. Even in terms of the Madden or NBA 2K, where you're creating your player from college and then importing that into the professional leagues, and then that character gets better ratings and you're adding points and all of it like that. That's a role-playing game, right? I do think that one of my favorite types of games to play is RPGs, role-playing games, whether it is more the sci-fi, fantasy, magic, elves, sword and sorcery, that kind of stuff, or if it is more futuristic. That is something that appeals to me and resonates with me with regards to like how I want to spend my free time in a game, right? Being able to put myself in the place of that character, even when you could go ahead and customize what your character looked like. That was something amazingly huge for me on multiple levels, because not only could I, just at the base level make a character that looked closer to my race first and foremost, because a lot of main characters were either like weird aliens or they were just humans, right? Mass Effect is a big one, right? You just jump into that specific character and follow him around through his story. But being able to, customize the facial features, having the fuller lips, the broader nose, so that like your character looks like you is huge. Having your character look like whoever you want winds up then being a really great mode of expression and allowing you to truly escape into the world, right? If you want to go ahead and create an alien, if you want to go ahead and create an elf, if you want to go ahead and create a whatever, right? Being able to have that freedom in a role-playing game is something that resonates with a lot of people, and I think that's not the main reason, but I'm going to say it's very much a significant reason on why role-playing games are my favorite genre of game to play, especially if the world building, the story, the character building, the classes, all of those sorts of things, if it's well made and you have a lot of freedom and creativity, you have a lot of things that you are able to do, as opposed to just following their story, right? I think one of the main things that I wanted to talk about today, and kind of tongue-in-cheek, I was thinking about this as like, class in session, because of the various role-playing classes. Recently, I have started talking about Baldur's Gate 3, and again, I'm gonna say this all the time. I know. I'm late to the bandwagon. I haven't even got the game yet. It's gonna be a Christmas present to myself. I'll be sure to act surprised. No worries. But just in terms of that game, whoever winds up being on here, I don't want anyone saying, well, that game's been out for a while. You're just now playing it? Yes, as a matter of fact, I am just now playing it. That's just the way it is. But with that, there are a wide variety of classes to play. You've got the standard fighter, you've got the standard rogue, you've got the standard wizard, you've got the cleric, there's a paladin, right? That's like the fabulous five of those. Actually, what am I missing? There is one. Barbarian. That would be, because there's normally 6 if you go way back to when all of that started. So the barbarian, you've got those, but then there's also like there's a warlock, there is a ranger, there's a what else? There's a few other, well, not a few, there's like 12 or 13 different classes in that game. So that is something that appeals to me, because you can find something that fits your play style a little bit better. But also the idea of, starting off as this one template doesn't lock you in to just playing that template. You can start off as a sorcerer, but then, hey, you realize he needs to be a little bit beefier. I want him to I want to cast spells, but I want to make sure that I have good defense, or I want to get more hit points, or I want to be able to also swing a sword and cut someone in half, or whatever. And you have the ability to do that in that game. And because I just recently started going down the rabbit hole of looking into Baldur's Gate 3, there's a variety of other games that are very, very similar. The ability to find other games that will play in a similar way that you enjoy. So like one that has popped up recently, primarily because we just had the I forget which gaming show it was. It was the Game Awards show for the year, and there was a trailer that leaked out for a new Divinity game. And I'm gonna do a quick little tangent. That trailer is disturbing as hell. The graphics look amazing. What you are potentially going to be able to do in that game will definitely, it's going to be huge. And because of the fact that that game is supposed to be bigger than Baldur's Gate 3, it's gaining a lot of like buzz and hype and everything. I think it's supposed to come out either next year. It's either towards the end of next year or beginning of 2027. But there's a lot of hype that's around it now. So now I've been going down the Divinity rabbit hole and looking at the previous games. So there is Divinity Original Sin and Divinity Original Sin 2. Just because of the fact that I was looking at all of these games, I wound up seeing online that Divinity Original Sin 2, it's normally like $40 or $50. It was on sale for like 15. So I went ahead and got that one. I have not played Divinity Original Sin. I've been playing DOS 2 for the last few days, and starting off again, you have a lot of the different classes, you have a lot of the different abilities, and the where they start off there is kind of like the cliche of, you know, you were this like specific type person, but you know, something happens, you get caught and like essentially put in jail, and you're on the way to this island where all the prisoners are, and there's, you know, this catastrophe on the ship, and you get shipwrecked, and so, you know, you don't have barely any clothes, you have, you know, no weapons, no skills, any of that stuff. So as you go through, you have to go ahead and build that up, right? And it's a cliche, but you know, it's a cliche for a reason. It works, right? But what I am finding that I like in the game, and some of the things even that I've seen online, because the algorithm is always listening. So now on YouTube, things are popping up with like, this is the best class, this is the best weapon, you know, do this to get through here, all of these different things. But what I really, really enjoy so far, and what I'm liking, is the fact that there's a lot of different ways to do certain things. There's no like one path to go ahead and follow. But at the same time, like, you know, case in point, and this is something that I've seen a lot with like the different Baldur's Gate videos and stuff that I've seen online, where, you know, you can cast invisibility on one of your party, separate them, they can go ahead and steal something and then bring it back to the group, and it's a totally different story path when talking to whomever was supposed to maybe give that to you, or maybe not, or whatever. Even in terms of you know, for me, I am, when I play role-playing games, I normally like to be the really persuasive one. I'm the charmer, the silver-tongued devil, you know, the one to be able to go ahead and just like talk people and persuade them into doing what I want them to do. In real life, I always joke that I use charm as a superpower, and so being able to do that in a game and get people to do different things is kind of fun for me. Even in certain cases, if it winds up being more an intimidation as opposed to a charm element, just because, you know, I might wind up playing the big barbarian character, or use the big barbarian character in my party to go ahead and intimidate someone that way. But I do like the variety of different ways that you can do things. It seems silly, but the idea of like how inventories work in these games it's completely bonkers, right? Because you can pick up and carry a water barrel in your backpack, and then be able to use telekinesis to throw that water barrel into the middle of your enemies, and then use a hail strike spell to freeze them in the water, and then blow them in pieces. That's kind of cool. I like that. And the graphics for how it comes across is really, 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 really good. Conversely, at the same time, you can take an oil barrel and either, you know, put that right at someone's feet, or throw it at them and it breaks and you've got oil on the ground now, and then you can use your pyromancer to go ahead and set it on fire, and then that's going to cause damage in and of itself, along with anything else that you do. One of the things that it's disturbingly hilarious. My mouth works, I promise. There is a character in my party who is a skeleton. He's an undead. And his like personal character quest is to find a tool that will allow him to take the faces off of anyone, really. Not so much that he's killed, but just the faces off of anyone. It's called a face ripper, so that he can put it on his face and be able to like walk around in normal society without having to be completely covered up. Sure. Yeah. And the way that we got the face ripper to get this, because I did get the tool, the way that we got that was to defeat a essentially a head guard in this prison who is really into like experimentation on all of these other prisoners, and like cutting off and modifying body parts and this, that, and the other. And he's got like, you know, this customized set of like knives and tools and all these different things, and one of them is the face ripper, which when I first came to talk to that guy, the skeleton, the undead in my group, was like, hey, hold on just 1 second before we do the thing, can I just chat with him really quick? Okay, sure, yeah, you go ahead and chat with him. I'm thinking like he's going to wind up like getting into a fight, like maybe he's got something in that he's gonna, I don't know, but they literally have a conversation back and forth, and it gets heated, and the guard says, no, I'm not giving this to you. And so then he walks back over to my group, and then we start our main interaction. I've never had a game that I've played where the characters in my party have such individual personalities that like there's literally in the cutscene where you have that first interaction, they stop you and be like, hold up 1 second, can I just step in? Like the Kanye moment, I'm gonna let you finish, but right quick, I gotta go ahead and do this, right? Never had that happen. So that actually was really, really cool, and that's not the first time that has happened with regards to like just the going through the game. And I'm maybe overall game time, I think I'm less than like 6 hours in terms of like the playing time per se, even though I've played it over several days. But the way that it's set up, like it's the story is intriguing, the graphics are amazing, and it is turn-based, but it's more like the strategic RPG, so there's not like just a ton of stuff going off all over the place. You are able to take your time and have what you want to have happen. You have control over it that way. So long as you have either, like, if this is, especially if it's not your first playthrough, if you have the stuff that you need in order to get the effect that you want, you know, you have the water barrel in your backpack, or the oil barrel in your backpack, or you have the poison cloud grenade, or whatever. Like, if you have that stuff already, then yes, you can make a ton of stuff happen. Because even poison ooze on the ground is also flammable. Right, so if someone's stepping in it, they're going to be taking poison damage, and then you throw a fireball or a fire grenade, which is a Molotov cocktail, and then all of a sudden it's burning, so they're getting poison damage and burning, and you just shot them in the neck with an arrow. Yay! But with like to kind of circle back, and we're going to be doing a lot of this because I know I go on tangents. With the classes that they have. Being able to have that variety of people in your party, and the concept of multi-classing to really get your character, your main character, to be who and what you want them to be. So previously on other episodes, I was talking about the fact that I love the Ranger class. Rogues and Rangers, being able to, you know, fire arrows from a distance. I'm a huge Hawkeye fan. I love Legolas and Lord of the Rings, Errol Flynn, Robin Hood, the whole nine, right? So archers are definitely my jam. So I love the Ranger class. Well, in this game, the Ranger class also starts out as a pyrotechnic, because he does like flame arrows, and you can do a variety of different elemental arrows. You can do poison arrows, you can do like all kinds of stuff, right? But I have and I'm only, I think, like level 5 right now, something like that. So there's different points that you can get in the different abilities, but let's say I wanted him to be more of a sorcerer, I could go ahead and put points in that, and then now I'm able to have him use some of those abilities as well. So, you know, jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. but then like you will pick up these skill books or different weapons that require certain things. Like if it's a really good bow that I want him to be able to use, but because of the abilities of the bow, I also need polymorph, just for example. So because I'm gonna shoot flaming sheep at people or whatever the heck, right? It sounds stupid, but I would not be surprised if they had something like this in a game at some point. Which would be a bizarre graphic to go ahead and see flaming sheep going through, you know, with regards to any of the setup right now for that, like just some and then it's on fire, you know, landing on someone. Like that would definitely disrupt someone for sure. However, I think the idea of being able to take a character that then is multifaceted, that allows you to do more things the way that you specifically want to do them, right? Even the undead guy. So because he's undead, he has a certain level of necromancy to begin with. But because I chose the enchanter class, he also has summoning. The enchanter has melee abilities, and so he's a two-handed sword fighter. I think he's got like a huge mallet or hammer right now, but he can also summon these essentially like flaming turrets, as well as I just got his summoning up to another level and found some extra skills, so he can go ahead and fill that out. So now I can summon a bunch of different creatures on his behalf to go out and fight, and then as I get his summoning up, I can go ahead and add abilities to those creatures along with his ability to cause enchantments, and then he's also, you know, bum rushing people and smashing them in the head with a hammer, right? So that's not a character class that you would normally see in a game. Someone that's going to be like a heavy melee fighter and getting into the thick of things, you know, that's normally going to be just like a fighter or a barbarian, paladin, that kind of thing. But, you know, he basically, you know, even at this level, it's only like, again, 5 or 6. If I plan it out right, I have the ability to like have him bring a whole squad of characters with him, right? And that definitely changes the gameplay around. The rogue that I have in the group, amazing stab damage, as rogues will, dual wielding daggers, as rogues will. Right now I haven't done a lot of multi-classing with her, but I do want to be able to go ahead and get her more ranged abilities, because one thing that I find this game does really, really well is the high ground versus low ground. So if you are on a level higher up than your enemies, and you're whether you're shooting arrows or you're shooting you know, magic spells, this in and of it, like, take logic out of the way, because a magic spell should hit and do the same damage. It doesn't matter the height, right? But you get extra damage if you are above them. And so in the times when with the rogue, if I'm not close enough to be able to do the stabby, you know, from the shadows, she can go ahead and give me support with the arrows from the high ground, because I've also got my ranger possibly on the other side, and we're, you know, raining death from above, while, you know, the enchanter is sending his minions forward, or whatever, right? There's a lot of different things that you can go ahead and do with this. And so even though early on in this game I'm not, like, you know, super far into it, there's a lot of little plot points I can see that are leaning into more things down the line, and even with one of the things that is really, really cool that I'm starting to see more and more in open-ended role-playing games, just because you see something doesn't mean that you should interact with it right away. right? There's not like, oh, you're going to be in this level first, and this is all your level, and then you're going to go to this area, and then now you should be at a level where you can do everything here, and then you go to this area, and you can do everything there. So the first island, this is, what is it, Fort Joy, right? Great name for a prison island, Fort Joy. That is the first main area, and there's, you know, a bunch of different quest points and things in there. So interesting question, is it friendly? Just last night I was playing this game, and I get to a portion of the island that I've never been to before, and this is like a jungle, swampy, humid area of, you know, where we are, and on the island, and all of a sudden you're seeing like ice on the ground and like frost clouds, chill clouds or whatever, to the point where even as your characters are walking through, they're like starting to shiver and they're getting the chilled effect, right? And one of the characters is like, okay, wait a minute, what is going on? Why is this like this? This is you know, it's supposed to be a tropical, humid area, and with the ice on the ground, you can actually slip and fall down, which makes you prone. So if you do that in a fight, you're gonna wind up taking more damage. Well, turn a corner, and there's literally a huge frost dragon that is knocked out on the beach, magically shackled to these two towers, right? So is it friendly? Probably not. I would imagine not, but at the same time, I also know that at level 6, there is no way I'm going to interact with the chains that are around its neck, because I don't know if it's friendly. If I wind up inadvertently taking the chains off, is he going to eat me? Right? I have no idea. Is it someone that's going to help? Could give me like a hugely overpowered weapon or ability or whatever. I have no idea. I also know there's no way in hell that I'm going to wind up doing anything with that. Like, none. No. Got you. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that. I did see that was something that is definitely not something I would want in there. But the ability to just get to that area and see something that is like, okay, cool, I definitely am going to want to come back here, or there's going to be some other story beat that will lead me back here and be like, oh, that's the dragon that they were talking about. Cool. Now I know a little bit more about the story. Now I'm at a level to say, you know, where I can possibly convince the dragon to help me do something, or you know, I'm at a point to where I can maybe, I don't know, fight the dragon or scare the dragon off or whatever. Like, I don't know. But it was just cool to see that kind of thing in the game. Also kind of a cliche in the genre, but something that is very cool in terms of like how you do certain things. There is crafting, and you get recipes to make weapons or make potions or make whatever. There is potentially a way to get something if you can find or buy a shovel. If you also find the right components, you can make a shovel, because there's going to be a lot of different areas where it's like, oh, I found something, and it's like this, something is interesting in the dirt, but you have to dig to go ahead and find it, obviously. But if you have a lizard character in your party, just because they've got claws, they can go ahead and dig. You don't need a shovel, right? I did have a lizard man in my party, and I wound up letting him go in favor of the elf character that became my rogue. I don't know if I want to go back to him for that, but you know, it just all depends. Right now, I like the party that I have, but I can't find a shovel. I can't make a shovel yet because I have to have, I mean, it makes sense, but I have to have a long stick and a bowl in order to be able to put those two together and make a makeshift shovel to dig stuff, dig sand out of the way. So I have all of these places marked on this map. It just says dig here, and I look at the map and there's these little flags all over. Once I do find a shovel, or if I get a bowl, I can go ahead and make the shovel, go back and get, you know, whatever treasure item, who knows, right, to go ahead and get that taken care of. And so that is also like, I mean, there's no particular class that is going to help with that, but in terms of the race of the character that you have, because I could have chosen to be the lizard person and then still go through and do, you know, whatever I want to do. And even with regards to the very beginning of this game, they have preset characters that already have like pre-done like backgrounds and like voice lines in particular areas, or you could go ahead and create a custom one that doesn't have all of that, but it's going to be maybe a little bit more specific to who you want to be right at the very, very beginning, right? So with regards to some of the classes, like you might want to start off as someone that already has a multiple or a variety of different class types, and so you start off being able to do a bunch of different things, even though not at a high level. Because this is the first time that I'm doing it, I started off with one of the presets, especially because it was a preset ranger. I'm like, oh well, cool. Let me just go ahead and go through with this. And so with that, I do think that I mean the game is huge in and of itself, so it's not like I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna blaze through this. But just being able to feel out where I want my character to go, where I want my class to go. There is I think it's an amulet that I found that requires a certain skill that I don't have yet. So when I go to my next level, I can go ahead and get that skill, and then now I can use this amulet and have that ability. The other thing about being essentially on essentially what it's like the Australia of this world, this island where they send these prisoners, and all of the prisoners are called they're called sorcerers because they have some sort of like wild magical ability that is causing interdimensional beings to appear and want to fight them and anyone around them, right? So that's even though they haven't necessarily done anything wrong, just because of who they are, nope, you guys are too dangerous, so we're sending you to this prison island. And so they have these collars around their necks that will dampen their wild magic, right, for lack of any better term. And then they're not so much that they're not able to do anything, but at that point in time, you're just like a normal human, so they can go ahead and treat you kind of however they want. So one of my characters, I was able to go ahead and get his collar off. He is able to use amulets. I've been able to find a bunch of other amulets just in going through the game, but all the rest of my party still have their collars on, right? I know there is a portion of the game once I get out of my area where I am now, when I escape, I'll be able to get everyone's collars off, and they can all go ahead and wear the amulets, because now I have like a different amulet on everybody in their inventory. So when the collar comes off, boom, you can wear that now, and that'll have that ability, and then I can go ahead and kind of mix and match and do everything that way. And with the collars off, they now have their innate skill or ability that now they're going to be able to use. And part of the reason why I did like the archer at the start, his innate ability is being able to summon like a spirit wolf, essentially. And anyone who knows me knows that I love wolves. I even wrote a poem about it. I absolutely love wolves. And so that I thought was super, super cool. And I just was able to go ahead and get this all taken care of last night, so I did get a chance to like really like play and utilize the wolf and everything. But I do think that that's going to be an awesome part in the game, and some of the other stuff that you have being able to get into, I think is going to be really, really cool. One thing that I do want to go ahead and get into as well, though, like, I want to find out what your favorite classes are. Like, how do you guys like to play? Are you always the big brawly fighter? Are you the sorcerer or wizard's spellcaster from a distance? Do you like a mix and match, right? I think having that diversity, having that variety is crucial. When this is also a game that you are able to do with other people, so you can only, it's a group of 4, but you can go ahead and be in with like 3 of your friends. You each have your own character and you're going around doing stuff that way. No different than like Diablo does that. There's a bunch of games that do that. I know Baldur's Gate, you can go ahead and do that as well, with the newest one, and so that in and of itself is really, really cool. The the magic ones, but you end up playing melee in a panic. So then in that instance though, being able to have a magic user that also had the ability, the built-in ability to fight well, would definitely help. That's one of the things I will say, for like, as much as I do enjoy playing Diablo, if you are a sorcerer, it's not really easy to have a super powerful melee weapon when you get swarmed, right? Because almost all of their stuff is just kind of pre-built to go into the magical abilities, and a lot of those are going to be area of effect, and you can do mass damage that way. I do think their necromancer is probably the one that is a little bit different, that where you can kind of like roll solo, but that's also because you've got like your skeletal minions that are with you that you can choose to be fighters, or you've got undead magic users behind you, and then you've got bone armor that allows you to go ahead and last longer in the melee area, right? So there is a little bit of, I wouldn't even call that like multi-classing, but there's that customization of your abilities, to give you more of a literal fighting chance when you get swarmed, right? In this one, you literally can be a fighter magic user, right? So you've got a shield and a sword, and you're also casting spells. You've got high hit points, as well as maybe not as high as your intelligence, because you need a higher intelligence for the more powerful spells, but then you still have like significant fighting abilities. Or maybe you want a magic user that is also going to be a thief, right? And so you're doing more additional skills with like invisibility and backstab and lock picks and like that kind of stuff. Maybe you want to do, actually I just realized I haven't really seen a cleric, because that's the weird thing also. The story beat that I'm in right now, I just got the ability to bless as a ranger, but that's because he was somehow chosen to be this one god's crusader in his previous life, and he turned away from that and then became a mercenary, and then it was in that he wound up getting caught up, and I still haven't figured out everything yet. It's coming, but so like that was like, the story is making me multi-class into a part of a cleric, because I have first aid, I have bless, and those are two things that just came to me naturally. I guess first aid as a ranger's skill, you're out in the woods, you have to be able to go ahead and heal yourself and fix. So that's not much of a multi-class, but the bless, definitely a multi-class. And there's not really a cleric per se in this game the same way there would be in Baldur's Gate 3. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to go ahead and kind of figure out and play along with. I will say that whether like polymorph allows you to change into a bunch of different things. You've got warfare, which is going to be more for like the physical damage. You've got so I have one character who is basically the like wizard of the bunch, and does a lot of like water and air spells. But if I wanted to, I could go ahead and add fire into that. I could go ahead and add geomancy is more going to be for like obviously earth stuff, but also poison. So being able to customize and combine some of those different features, I think are going to be really cool. This character is also very, very weird in that she is a host, and she knows that she's a host for a very, very powerful demonic entity. And that is going to be an interesting story beat for her, like personal quest, because part of trying to figure out who it is exactly that's in her is searching for this demonologist that's also supposed to be on the island. Or sorry, no, he's not on this island. He's in another area once I get off the island to go ahead and find that. So there's some, the long game in this is real. So it's going to be interesting to see what's what with that one. Plus the fact that right now, because my main character, the Ranger, is this mercenary, I'm also on a contract to assassinate essentially the current king is too strong a word. Well, just the current ruler. And I don't know why. I'm part of this group called the Lone Wolves. But I don't know why. It's just a contract that I'm supposed to be on. So whether I actually go ahead and execute this contract or not, and I'm nowhere near at the point to where I'm even close to doing that, which again, the long game in this game is real. It is interesting just to see all of the different beats that come together. I don't know if I had chosen, the lizard person. I don't know if that would have been something that then my character does. So if it's like just a carousel, no matter who you choose, there are certain things that you're going to have to do. Or, now that I've chosen this person, okay, this is what my quest is going to look like. And then if I go ahead and choose someone else, all right, now this is what my main quest is going to look like. And if I have, that other person in my group, that just becomes more a side quest for them to go ahead and figure out. So then do I help them do that, or do I do something different on my own and be like, never mind? If I don't even explore that, is that something that I even find out is part of the game, right? And that's it's what, with role-playing games in general, I think it is something that can make them such a huge endeavor and so much fun, but also such a long time to play. And even though I know, like I said, I'm late to the bandwagon for Baldur's Gate 3, the fact that just getting this game, because I only did it because it was on sale, getting this game now, and there's so much into it, knowing that I'm going to get Baldur's Gate 3 for myself as a Christmas present, like, I still gotta work. I still have to be able to go ahead and do things during the day. I still have to be able to make money and eat, sleep. Having both of these games at the same time, I don't know that that's a smart idea. So even if I get Baldur's Gate, because I don't know if it's going to go on sale like around New Year's or Christmas or whatever, so that's why I'm waiting. If I do get it, I might not play it for a while because I'm still going to be stuck in this one, so I don't know. I don't know. That's going to be a little crazy. And I'm more like a nocturnal person to begin with. So even after like a long day at work, I tend to still, play video games for at least a couple of hours just to kind of let my brain wind down. I will say that wind down period wound up being about 4 hours last night. A little bit more, honestly. Yeah. But, okay, so it was closer to 6. But like it's like that's I think my main vice is going to be video games. It is something that is like it's relaxing. It's part of who I have been since I was 7 years old. The chaos of an arcade is peaceful to me. If that makes any sense. And part of that is going to be, where I was born and raised in Los Angeles. Part of that is going to be the time period that I grew up in. Being I was born in '74, so in the early to, I'll say the mid '80s, especially in terms of me going into places with my friends, 10, 12 years old. And being in the neighborhood, go to the corner store, and they've got four video game cabinets right next to each other, so you're playing some of the old classics, or going to the arcade at the mall with my friends, or whatever, right? That was always something that kind of resonated with me, and so that is my escape, that is my vice, playing video games, and that was the first notch on the geek flag, so to speak, right? Such as it were. But I do think that I think being able to go ahead and do that, whatever your geekness is, like, that is something that you're going to find peace with. It's something that you are, because it resonates with you somehow, some way, somewhere, because it is something that you enjoy, you're excited about. Like, it time passes quickly when you're having fun, and it goes by in a blur when you're engaged in whatever it is that you're at that level of geekdom for. I believe that because everyone is a geek about something, everyone has a gift or an innate knack for something, and I hope everyone finds it, like, straight up. However, again, circling back, tangents, I apologize, it's just the way that I talk. The ability to multi-class, the ability to truly express your character the way that you want is huge. Whether it's a sports game, professional wrestling, heck, even Need for Speed, right? The expression with the cars and getting the neon and the engine tuned, and you got these tires and these decals and everything, right? That's a role-playing game. Right, you're in the role of the character who's on the run from the police, or you're fighting to get your Road King or Street King title back, or whatever, right? Your main rival that you recruited into the gang wound up taking you out or framing you and took your place, and now you got to go ahead and get revenge. Whatever the story is, right? All of that is going to be like some sort of role playing, but it's also self-expression on a variety of different levels, and I absolutely love that. Like, that is my jam. That is why I have a notebook. There's a shoulder bag that I have somewhere. I forget exactly where it is, but there's a shoulder bag I have somewhere, and I've got like a big, thick 3-ring binder. It's not completely full, but I would say it's well over half full of a variety of different character sheets and backgrounds and notes and spell lists and ability charts and like all of these different things, because two of my really good friends back in Northern California, they were both game masters. And so they would, buy a new game or hear about a new game, download the rules. Hey, Coop, come on over for the weekend. We're getting the guys together. We're going to try a new game. And so, either whether it was going through some of the preset characters and just seeing how they play, or actually going through and creating a new character just to get a better feel for the character generation. Like, I was a huge guinea pig for both of these guys and getting them used to, like, how is this game going to play? Is this something that I'm going to want to do long term for just a couple of people or a group? Am I going to want to do this at a convention? Whatever. And then there were the ones that we really did sink our teeth into, and I will say, like, one of my game masters that I appreciate and enjoyed the most, because of what he would have us do with our characters. It wasn't just numbers on a page. It wasn't just, okay, roll these dice, put that there, and then, figure out a name for your character. Let's go. If this was something that he was really jazzed about, and his creative juices were flowing, and in terms of what the story was going to be and everything, it's not just some random encounter where 5 people get together and all of a sudden they join up for this common cause, right? That's kind of cheesy, kind of cliche. So how do we get this group of characters together? How do they get to even the point before they come together? Right? Who are you? What's your motivation? He would actually have us, we had to come up with at least a 1-page story explaining how we got the abilities that we got. It's not just if you were a barbarian and you have, 18 strength with an extra percentile or whatever. Okay, how did you get that? Were you even amongst, barbarians and Vikings, were you a freak? Were there rumors about, your mom being raped by a giant, right? Were there rumors of you being dragonkin because you have an affinity for fire and you're fireproof or whatever? We had to come up with the reasons why we either acted the way we did, looked the way we did, had the abilities that we did, whatever, because then he would take those and he would bake them into the future story, and you would never know when, you would never know how, but you knew, I would get excited saying, I can't wait until this comes back somehow, some way, because even if you gave yourself something really, really good, there would always be a little bit of a twist to it when he brought it back, right? And I absolutely loved that. And it's partly, I think it's partly what helped my own creativity to evolve. When I was playing with him, I was in my 30s, so I can't even say as a young man, but just being able to evolve and think about ways and think about things in different ways, being able to go ahead and just use words even more expressively, right? I think it was just really, really cool to be able to go ahead and utilize that, not just even in the role playing, but just in general things, right? And so now when I do play some of these games, seeing or exploring some of the different intricacies, some of the different story beats that they have, that's really, really fun for me. That's one of those things that will wind up keeping me up until 6 in the morning, 4 in the morning, on a weekend that you don't have anything to do. All right, well, hey, I guess this is just going to be one of those days. Let's see how far we can get, right? Heck, even last Sunday, I made a big thing about that being MK Day, because I had just gotten Mortal Kombat 1 a few days ago, started playing that. Huge Mortal Kombat fan. And being able to see the ways that some of the characters have changed, in terms of how they look, or some of their motivations, their loyalties, this, that, and the other. Everything is different from what I was used to, and being able to even just jump from game to game, because I'm not gonna be someone yes, I did just get Divinity, Original Sin. I just got that one. I know that I'll be playing that for a while. I just got Mortal Kombat 1. I will go back to that back and forth. I had Mortal Kombat 11. I didn't get the Aftermath one, but I did get Mortal Kombat 11. I was playing that back and forth. I did wind up even just playing that a couple of weeks ago, which made me think about, let me see if Mortal Kombat 1 is on sale or whatever, and then found out it was on Game Pass. Cool. Downloaded that. Mortal Kombat 11 moved to the external hard drive. Now we got this one, right? So there's a little bit of gaming ADHD, I guess you could say, hopping between the different games, because I'm not gonna stay just on one and play it until I finish it. I know where I am in MK1. There will definitely be another day. Like that's one I can go ahead and just put a couple of hours in and be okay, right? For some of the role-playing games, I know that like that's going to be several hours at a time, so I won't even pick that up if I know I don't have that time available. I can't just jump into it for an hour and then be gone. What is it? Star Wars Jedi Fallen Survivor. Whatever the most current one is, I know there's a spot in the game where I am stuck fighting Vader, and the timing and combos, like all of that, like right, it's too much in terms of the time that I'm able to go ahead and put towards that. I'm not someone that likes to beat myself, beat my head against the wall over and over and over and over, and that's not fun. I'll try it 5 or 6 times. If I can't get past it, okay, cool. I'll put that down, think about that, come at it with fresh eyes later. Maybe I can go ahead and get it then. So that one I haven't picked up in a while. Even though I love the game, I love what they did with Cal Kestis and the storyline and all of that moving forward. With a different point of view and perspective behind Order 66 and all of that stuff. Like I love that. I just don't always have the time to go ahead and put towards it, right? So then even being able to, because that one's currently on my external hard drive on the Xbox, because I know I'm not playing it right now. I still have the Banishers, which is like the occult ghost fighting, not necessarily medieval. It's like the mid 1600s, I think. More colonial, not medieval, colonial. Being able to go ahead and jump into that game, right? And I just started that one 3 weeks ago, again because it was free on the Game Pass. So and then even before that, another one that was free on the Game Pass was the Ascent, which was like the cyberpunk role-playing roguelike. I know I'm close to the end of like the first playthrough, and that the last fight is just, again, with the timing and making sure that I'm able to do what I need to do with the abilities. Like I just don't have it down yet. And so I know I'll go back to that one, and they've got the New Game Plus, where you can keep that level and start the game over and then go through and be able to get to some of the places that you haven't been. And so that is definitely something that I'm going to go ahead and do as well. But at any given time, I mean, just to even think about it, like, what did I just wound up. What I just wanted to do was 5 games that I'm currently playing. Is that right? Yeah, because there's the Ascent, there's Banishers, there's MK1, there's Divinity, Original Sin 2, and then I did say so I was playing the Jedi one, but that one I haven't picked that up in a while. There is another one though that I'm missing. It was another one that was free on Game Pass. That's gonna bug me. Obviously, I haven't played it in a little bit because there's 4 other games ahead of it. But yet and still, like there are currently 5 that are in the roster, because those are also the ones when I first start up my Xbox. You see them right across, and you can do like the quick resume where you go right back into it. I cannot remember what that 5th one is right now. But that's gonna be something that, like, even I don't really get like a Christmas break, but I know there's gonna be, and I'm working on Christmas itself. But I know there's gonna be, some weekends coming up where it's gonna be, sweats and a pizza and the console, and I'm just gonna dive in and do some crazy stuff. And it's gonna be fun. That's that escape. That's what kind of it definitely refreshes and allows me to get back to the real world and be in a better place, just for me personally, right? This is the way. Can't see on this side. There we go. Mandalorian, this is the way. For me, whatever works for you, go ahead. super quick. Two things that I do want to go ahead and mention, especially because we have been on this for a little bit. I want to go ahead and make sure anyone who has just joined recently, who has followed, appreciate you. This is a community that I want to go ahead and build. Obviously, I can't build it without you guys. So definitely thank you for that. In terms of the games, especially the multiplayer games, I am an Xbox guy. My gamer tag is my gamer tag is on the Xbox, GeekFlagFlyer, GeekFlagFlyer, GeekFlagFlyer on Xbox. Add me, let's get into playing some games. If you play any of the games that I've mentioned, or if you want to go ahead and suggest some games to me, by all means, please do. If there's other stuff that's on Game Pass that I'm missing out and it's something that I need to go ahead and play, especially part of the reason why I go so in depth on all of the different things that I like. Hey, if you like it as well, fantastic. If it's something that is like, oh, if you like this, then this would probably be a game that you would enjoy. Cool, let me know. There's a lot of little gems that can pop up and things that maybe they're from, even if it's 5-10 years ago, if it was never on my radar, but it's something that you think I would enjoy, definitely pop it in the chat. We've got obviously, so there's the Twitch, there's the YouTube, there is also the Instagram, GeekFlagFlyHigh on all three of those, and then still haven't created the TikTok, but that will be coming to go ahead and put stuff out there as well. But always just all together, no spaces, GeekFlagFlyHigh on any platform that I create. We're going to go ahead and keep it simple, and just make sure that is that's what the name is going to be. And again, GeekFlagFlyHigh. So yeah, join me, add me. We can join in on some games, whatever. But then also being able to some of the different links, like definitely go ahead and share the profiles with your friends, with anyone else that you think would be interested, wanting to go ahead and share what their geekdom is. If someone is into tabletop role playing, if they're a board game geek, if they're whatever, like let come. There is a seat at the table for you. Right, come on and join in the fun and let's geek out for real. I will also say one of the links that you will see on my profiles, and I was actually kind of shocked that that I got even accepted for this. I mean, it's publicity for them regardless, whether I've got a huge platform or I'm just starting out. But there is an energy drink company called, I don't know if this is going to come through correctly because I've got the green screen on, but it's called Dubby, D-U-B-B-Y. They do have a variety of flavors, really good. It's not like a ton of caffeine, but it is still something that is, it's tasty, gets you good energy. I myself am working on getting off of drinking a bunch of energy drinks. I used to drink Mountain Dew like crazy. Even when I got married, I toasted with Mountain Dew. My ex and I toasted with Mountain Dew. So I mean, yeah, that was a huge part of my life. Jolt. Never really did Red Bulls and Monsters, but just there's a ton of energy drinks out there. I'm working on getting off of those, and this is definitely something that's helping. You will see there's a 10% discount link in my profile, so definitely go ahead and take a look at that. They do also, part of the reason why they are collaborating with content creators, they have merchandise collaborations with a few different anime. So like a big one that they're talking about right now is Chainsaw Man, and they've got different characters on the shakers. I want to say that flavor is blood orange. It's like blood orange fruit punch, something like that. But then they also do Solo Leveling Arise, I think, or Arise is the name of another anime. There's another one that I'm forgetting right now, but there's like three main ones that they are partnering with. So they've got limited edition shakers. There's all kinds of different flavors. The Solo Leveling one, I think, is like a blueberry lemonade. I forget. There's like a special, like specific name from the anime that they call it, but basically it's blueberry lemonade. They have like, you know, hydration drinks. There's a ton of really cool stuff on there. I have another shaker coming, especially considering the green screen. You like can't really see the lettering here, so I have a black and silver shaker that's coming because I'm a Raider fan for life. That one looks really, really cool, as well as some other flavors. So check it out. Definitely take a look at my link and get the 10% off. Obviously it's something that helps me if you do it. I'm not like the full-on corporate shill, although they did give me this cool hat. But it's a local company in California, and yeah, just go ahead and give it a shot. As I am able to grow this, I want to be able to do some other specific collaborations, and know at the beginning, anyone who is here with me, if there is something that I am ever going to collaborate with, it's because I use it, or I approve of it, or, you know, I like it in some way, shape, or form. As much as possible, I will always go ahead and do, you know, my due diligence on that. So I wasn't going to, if I didn't like the flavors for this, I wasn't actually going to have anything on my channel about it, and I just wouldn't have put the link up anywhere. I wouldn't have said anything. I thought about doing like an unboxing, you know, when the first tub that I got, but I'm like, if it's nasty, nah, I don't want to do that. So yeah, definitely take a look at it. What is it? dubby.gg, I think, is the actual website. But if you go ahead and click the link in my profile in the bio, on the Instagram, the Twitch, should also be on the YouTube. That'll give you 10% off to go ahead and try something yourself. Whether you are wanting to go ahead and get energy, or wanting to go ahead and just drink more water, and you want you know, good flavors, give it a shot, right? At the same time, I do also want to make sure that I am letting you guys express yourselves on this platform, right? So whether in the chat, on the Instagram, you want to go ahead and post comments on the videos after the fact, let me know some of the things that you are geeky about, right? I want to know what you guys are playing, what you are watching, what you are excited for, something that maybe you played, or you watched it, or you thought this was going to be good and it wound up being, you know, a bunch of crap, right? Go ahead and let me know. Like, let's talk about it. Let's share. Let's create this community for all of us. You have a seat at the table, like I said, right? There are quite a few different TV shows. The same way that I've got the gaming ADHD, I have the television ADHD, or movie ADHD. Partially because, again, if you know the episodes are an hour long, or sometimes over an hour, I may not always have the time to sit down and want to go through that. Case in point, Foundation is a series on Apple TV that is really awesome premise. I think there are 3 or 4 seasons. It's based off of an Isaac Asimov series of books, and I'm barely through season 2, just because the even though the episodes are only like maybe 45 to 55 minutes, they are so dense that it's not something you can just kind of like have in the background, and at the end of the day, I may not want to really think that much, right? There is another one on Apple TV called SEE. Jason Momoa is the lead for that. Amazing show. The first season, fantastic. Again, the episodes are so dense. I started the second season, haven't finished it. Abbott Elementary. Not that the episodes are dense. There are a lot of episodes, and they're only like in the half-hour-ish range. But like, I know that is one that if I go ahead and start that, like, I'm gonna want to watch like 3 or 4 episodes in a row. So I have to make sure that I have the time available to go ahead and do that. I can't just do like one and done and be out, right? They're a bunch of, and also like with so many different streaming services, because I've got Apple TV Plus, I've got Prime Video, I've got Netflix, I have HBO Max. Can't remember the last time I actually even opened that one. What else? Amazon, Netflix, Disney Plus, duh. And then just on a whim, there was something that I clicked on and it was like, oh, we've got the full season on Tubi. And so I wound up watching that on Tubi based off of just something on a YouTube clip. And now I want to go ahead and create a Tubi account so that I can save my progress and be able to add different shows to the wish list, right? There's quite a few like YouTube content creators that I have watched, and some of them I follow, and they've got like full-on shows on Tubi, which is amazing. Like, hats off to them. Kev on Stage and Big Ja. Like, I think those guys are doing amazing things, and all of the people that they have in their sphere and how they're creating and putting things together. Tony Baker, like just all of those guys. They're doing amazing. So big props to them for doing what they do. But yeah, now there's essentially six different streaming channels. And Peacock, duh, because that was for the wrestling stuff. Although I don't know how much longer they're going to be on Peacock because of the stuff that WWE has with ESPN and Netflix. So who knows how that's going to go. But yeah, so now that's 7 streaming channels, because there's some other shows on Peacock. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like reboot, reimagining that series. They're getting ready to have that, or just did have their final season. I'm still, I think, halfway through season 2 of that one. Again, season 1, amazing. Get into season 2, get busy, never come back to it. Do we see the pattern here? Can we see that? Yeah, it happens. But really, really good. I was a huge fan of Will Smith, huge fan of the Fresh Prince. Growing up as a kid, that TV show was awesome and groundbreaking in so many ways. And the show on Peacock wound up doing a more realistic, current society twist on it. Not as a sitcom, but more as like a dramedy. Right, which was really, really cool, and like, at first it started off as just a gag, and Will Smith saw it and it was like, well, no, like, this is something that you guys could like really, really do, and he got on board, and I think he's one of the executive producers of it now. But like, even though I know how the story ends, because they do follow along with a lot of the same or similar beats from the original Fresh Prince show, they do it in a much different way. And so that is something that, like, I want to make sure, A, just to go ahead and support, B, for some of like the nostalgia, and like how Jeffrey is a badass in this show. Like, I love what they did with Jeffrey, and being able to see how they have incorporated and paid homage to the original while still making this something new. And so I want to see where that goes, right? I want to see, how they made it happen, especially because it is something from my childhood that I'm really, really excited for. So yeah, like I said, I want to hear what you guys are into, because this community is all about the diversity of geekdom. There is nothing that I am a better or more of a geek than you. Well, actually, it's gonna be no. We don't do that here. Are we gonna talk trash, right? If you're really into One Piece and you wound up getting all the way through the umpteen thousand episodes of that, hey, kudos to you. I'm gonna say that you have absolutely nothing to do in your life to go ahead and spend all of that time watching TV. But hey, if that works for you, that works for you, right? There's truly no shade. I'm just saying it just to talk some shit and have fun with it. And you can say the same thing for me, for something that I am a part of or excited about. And you're like, yeah, it's not really worth it. This is better or whatever. And we can have that conversation. That's what this platform is all about, is for us to be able to have that conversation. respectfully, right? You can talk some shit, you can talk some trash, and still be respectfully. Nothing that is gonna be like, you know, we're not talking about anybody's family or kids, or like that won't be tolerated. You will definitely get blocked for that, for sure. But I do want us, like, if you're passionate about it, right, you're gonna have a little bit of confidence and say it with your chest. So, you know, 10 toes down, stand on business, whatever you want to call it. Like, let's have some fun talking about that. Let's geek out, because you might, and you can never say never, so this is definitely true, you might convince me to go ahead and try whatever you're excited about. I might convince y'all to go ahead and try whatever it is I'm talking about. You might think that D&D was stupid, and even what was it, Stranger Things, I think, when they first came out, and like, it was because that's set in the 80s and they're doing like all the D&D stuff in that first season. You think, oh, that's just for kids, and, you know, blah 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 blah, and then you actually try one of the games, right? Whether it's one of the video games, or you actually get together and you've had some friends that have been wanting to be like, hey, you should come out on the weekend and play D&D with us. Just watch, right? You don't even have to play. Just come watch. Get a slice of pizza and some soda, like whatever, right? But you've been saying no. And then hopefully, after, you know, maybe listening to me, you know, potentially listening to other people that have interacted on the channel and the platform, you're like, all right, fine, I'll go ahead and give it a try, right? And then that winds up being something like, all right, okay, yeah, this is actually kind of fun, cool, right? Do I expect you to go running through the forest in robes and with a fake sword and casting spells and all of that, you know, with a live action role playing, which, yes, I have done? No, I don't expect that. Is it something where I expect you to all of a sudden change your ringtone to the Final Fantasy VII theme song? No, I don't expect that. If that winds up being something that you vibe with, right, whether you play the game or not, be like, oh, dude, that song is fire. Yeah, let me go ahead and get that. Cool. But maybe you wouldn't have actually even had that on your radar had it not been for something like this, right? That's my main goal, is exposure, right? I'm a big fan of Greek mythology. I'm a big fan of like Egyptian mythology. I would never say that I was a nerd or a geek or an expert of any sort. But if someone is, hey, jump on and let's talk about it. Right? I've always wanted to go to Egypt. I'm going to be taking my daughter to Egypt next year in September. Super, super stoked about that. To be able to go ahead and see the pyramids and see all of that stuff that I've heard about and read about and you know, you see in movies, for, you know, both real and imagined, right? Because the mummy was not completely made up, but at the same time, it's a fictional story. But to go ahead and see the actual mummies, to go to Ramses' tomb, to go to the museum in Cairo and get immersed in all of that, like, that's going to be fantastic, right? If you are, if you're a sneakerhead, a shoe geek, right? And I know for a fact I am far more traditional, old-fashioned, so like, you may like these new Kyrie, LeBron, KD 750s or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea. But let's talk about it, right? If that's something that you're excited about, cool. Let's get into it, right? And maybe what is it? The sneakers app or the Kicks app, there's like a new drop coming out, and like, you're super stoked and you want to go ahead and share. Hey, post a picture and be proud of what you got. Maybe you got them on deal, or you were the only person to get them, or whatever. Okay, cool. I love that for you. Absolutely love that for you. If there is anything that people get from anything that I say on here, I want it to be, the main thing I want it to be is, excuse me. No, not the cough. The main thing I wanted to be that anyone gets from listening to me, rant and rave on this microphone for however long, there is a seat at the table for you. Okay? Always. There is a seat at the table for you. Whatever it is that you're into, within reason, there's a seat at the table for you. If you are, whatever it is, like there's so many different things that it could be. I don't even want to keep listing them, but just know that this is something where this is the kind of community that I want to go ahead and create. People that are creating music, people who are into music of all different genres. I actually have a guy that I work with. I never would have thought, just looking at him, I never would have thought that he's into the music that he's into. But especially as we chat back and forth about music at work, and he's like 20 years younger than I am, but is like very much into a lot of like the early like dirty South grunge, like down and out Southern hip hop that I was exposed to when I was in college back in the 90s. And he's not from the South, right? He is, fairly skinny, medium height, above average, like 5'7", 5'8", white guy. But, and he's talking about, like Project Pat and like just all like I can't even remember all the people that he was talking about because I had no clue. It wasn't anything that I was super deep into, but we were talking about the beginnings of like Outkast and Ludacris and all of that, and I'm like, we were literally geeking out at work about music, and I would never have thought to have had that conversation with him because it wasn't anything that he ever really talked about. It was just an offhand comment on something that I had made because I heard something on YouTube, and then he started talking about something else, and it grew, right? It evolved. And I want this community to go ahead and grow and evolve the same way. Anyone who has joined recently, thank you. I appreciate you. Anyone who is on this stream right now or has been on previous ones, thank you. I appreciate you. The one thing that I will ask, if you wind up seeing this after the fact, if you are watching it now, engage, talk to me, let me know what you want, because if there's things that I can do better in terms of making sure that I'm more accepting of you at the table, or talking about things that you guys want to hear about, right? I can go ahead and come up with certain things. This week I'm going to talk about this. This week I'm going to talk about this. But if it's not what you guys want to hear, or maybe you guys are excited about something, maybe we get away from role playing for a while and we get into fighting games, or we get into shooters, or we get into sports, right? Whatever, let me know, talk to me, holla at your boy. But yeah, that'll definitely be something that I want to go ahead and do to grow this some more. And I think that just being able to evolve and grow is going to be crucial for all of us, right? Not to turn this into some deep, now moment, but with everything going on in the world right now, just in general, we all need something to get excited about. We all need something to get happy about, something to go ahead and share in the common humanity, the common overall fun, right? Life is going to get in the way when and where she wants. So if we can go ahead and consciously, intentionally take some space for ourselves and get excited about something and share with people. The holidays are coming up, they're here, basically. We just had Thanksgiving last month. Christmas is next week. So being able to go ahead and spend time with family, spend time with friends, whether in person or online, text your folks, call your people, make sure that they're doing okay. The holidays are not easy for everyone. They're not hard for everyone, but it is going to be a stressful time. So, whether the community is something like this, whether the community is the group text chat with your family or with your friends, whether the community is the people that you're at work with, maybe your family's too far away or whatever, and all you have are the people that you work with. Whatever your community is, tap into it. Make sure that you're checking in on people. Make sure that you're getting what you need, emotionally, spiritually, right? There's a lot of things that are going on, just in the world, in people's lives. Everybody's going through something, and so for this to be some, I won't say small, because it's going to be significant, right? Even if it doesn't fully resonate with you, it's going to be significant for a lot of people. So, you know, find a way today, this week, this month. The year's almost over. You know, it's not about brand new resolutions, but, you know, how do we be better than we were yesterday? How are we better than we were last week, last month, last year, right? All of those questions are going to be coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So how do we make next year better than this year, right? And that could be something as like, hey, I'm literally going to get up half an hour earlier so I can take a walk before work. Cool, awesome. There's no such thing as baby steps, right? And if there's something that you, not that this is going to be like some, you know, holistic, motivational, life-changing self-help guru kind of thing, but hey, you know, if you even want to just, when you put pen to paper, when you send out the email, the text, when you put it in the chat, when you put it in the comments, right, that does make it a little more real. So, hey, I want to make sure that I do this next year. Pop it in the chat, make it real for yourself. You know, and it can be, you might think it's silly, but if it's important to you, then do it, right? I want to go ahead and buy a house one day, right? But at the same time, I also want to go ahead and play the Wolverine game on PS5 next year, right? Eventually that game is going to be coming out. They're saying fall 2026. I'll believe it when I see it. I haven't turned on I probably need to do like a system update, because I haven't turned on my PS5 in at least, what is it? It's December now? I think it was over the summer. I haven't played my PS5 in like 6 months. That is wild. That is wild. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I need to update my PS5. I'm gonna make that real. But you know, if you wanna work out more, you wanna go ahead and eat healthier, you wanna go ahead and walk the dog more often, you wanna get a dog, right? I mean, you know, you want to get a man, you want to get a woman. Hey, it's cuddling season, cuffing season, right? It's cold outside. Get somebody to warm you up, right? That's real, right? I'm not just joking. I mean, yes, it is funny, but that's real. If that's something that you want, then, you know, go ahead and take the steps to go out and get it. You know, if there's a particular game that you want to go ahead and get, if there's a particular whatever, right? Write it down, put it in the chat, send it to the Instagram, put it in a comment, right? But that way, then that winds up being something that, especially as I see some of these, obviously, unless it's private. If it's something private, you know, you wind up sending it to a DM, or you just want to, like, whatever. But if it's something that you're putting out publicly, like, we'll talk about these. Like, I'm gonna start doing more polls on the Instagram for sure. Going to be doing more polls and getting that kind of stuff set up, so that way I'm hearing more of what you guys want. Since this is a community, I would definitely want it to be something that is serving the community. So, you know, let me know what things you guys want to hear about. Let me know what it is that you want to get into, and then, you know, we'll do everything that we can to make it happen. Let's see, it's about 1:30 right now. I'm going to go ahead and cut this a little bit short, just because I overslept and didn't eat breakfast. So one of the things I'm going to go ahead and do is eat some lunch. And then I will go ahead and jump back on a little bit later. I appreciate you guys for joining me, and for the people that just started following. Definitely big ups and props to you guys. We're gonna keep building this and keep growing and evolving, and we're gonna make this something awesome for sure. Let me go get some grub, and then I will be back. Let's see. I don't know if I want to do some gaming this afternoon. It seemed like with the internet speed that I have, it seemed like the Xbox kept dropping the signal. But then someone showed me the stream, like there had to be some sort of a glitch, because it was like 37,000 hours long for the Xbox stream, which is like a solid month, and that's not even possible. So I'm not sure. I gotta figure that out. You know, on the computer, I've got that going. I did recently look into like the cloud gaming on an Xbox on my computer, so I can play a lot of these Xbox games on my computer. But being able to stream that through here and then onto Twitch, I don't think my computer is up to it. So I'll see what that might look like. I might test that out maybe this afternoon to see what's what. Because then whether it's the Mortal Kombat or Mortal Kombat might be too graphics intense, but maybe I can do the original Sin 2. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It depends on what's actually on cloud gaming or not. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get some food because I haven't eaten yet, and my stomach is telling me, dude, shut up. We gotta go eat. So thank you again to everyone, and I will likely be back on. We'll send out the notification. I can't say an exact time right now at this moment. Definitely going to be getting better on the scheduling for Sundays so I can get on for like 2 to 3 hours every single time. But at least for right now, let me go ahead and get out of here and get some grub because I'm rambling because I'm hungry. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And we'll see you next time. Deuces.